Aries, let's get into your collective reading. This is going to be collective reading for any and all Aries signs or placements. If you are aware of your birth chart and all that funkiness, please use discernment in where Aries may lie in your birth chart. And if you don't know what a birth chart is, that is totally fine. You don't have to know all that to get a little message to resonate with you. Or just know that you're not alone, because there's could be people that you just relate to in the sense of, hey, I went through that same thing. That was tough for me too, and I get it, and I feel for you. I don't mind if anyone watching live on Twitch wants to chat along with the reading. Hello, ma'am. We may get a cat on our lap here. I don't know where she went. Let's get a clear, honest message for Aries. Also, just so I can make sure I said it. If I said it twice, I'll just say it again. I don't care. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I feel like I don't have to say that, but I have to, because people will lie, and not just tarot readers. People lie. So also, I don't want anyone to feel like that there's a dumb question. If you feel like there's a card and the way I explained it didn't quite make sense, don't be afraid to ask, like, hey, what'd that mean? I know not everyone's gonna like understand it the same way I do. That's why I try my best to at least dumb it down in a way. What in the fire sign energy am I picking up on? There's fire, alright. We have 5 of Pentacles, endurance. Before I say everything I want to say about that, that card, there's a specific energy to this 5 of Stones, which is 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles is usually seen as like that big card of feeling like you ain't got shit. The deck that we're working with here is very different from other tarot decks, and it's still very like true to like standard tarot forms and like meanings, but also in its own way. Ooh, okay. Okay. I see. Ooh, okay. Alrighty. What happened, Aries? What happened? What happened? We all know what you're feeling. But, what happened? What's going on? Cause why is the card of sudden change out here? The Tower. And in this tarot deck it's called the Blasted Oak. What's going on with all that? I can't tell if you're the one falling from this metaphorical tower, or if you're the one who caused somebody to fall from their tower. Whoa. This almost feels like an energy of if you had to, like, push someone out of their tower, it's like you didn't even mean to. It's almost like you were trying to tell them, hey, this is the right way to do things. Like teaching somebody something and then trying to help them, but then there's like you can't ever really like tell someone like how to live their life kind of a thing. And that's where there's a moment of somebody falls out of some sort of tower in a metaphorical sense. And what I mean by that is it becomes abundantly clear that what was holding this thing, relationship, environment, community, whatever was holding it together is just gone. And not gone in like a, oh, it's completely lost. It's the energy that it used to have, the strength and structure it used to have, maybe even organization it used to have, is nowhere to be found. It's just in a blink of an eye, everything changes. The tower is that energy, and even when it's not things outside of us, like let's say everything in your physical environment is actually fine. What's going on in that brain of yours, Aries? You gotta understand up here, and then understand in here, and let your brain understand your heart for a second, because sometimes, one overpowers the other. That's just human nature. Hold on. Sorry, my hair is feeling weird. I didn't really brush it when I woke up this morning, and I could feel it. The parts that I slept on, I was like, oh, geez, this feels very odd. Excuse me. To explain your full reading here, we have the Five of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Empress out. The tarot deck that we're working with calls them the Five of Stones, the Three of Vessels, and the Green Woman. There's an energy of feeling like you can cultivate a community. I don't want to necessarily say that y'all had to, like, push somebody off a tower, metaphorically. Because I feel like when it comes to that, I want you to think of any of these scenarios I bring up, vice versa. It could either be you or another person, depending on, like, certain circumstances. Don't stretch it too far. Just take things as they feel like they're resonating. And if you feel like it's not resonating, maybe see what it's like in a swapped position. And if neither are resonating, then the reading's not resonating, and go find something that resonates. Or maybe wait until all of these readings aren't just for one person. There's a collective amount of y'all that I'm reading for. And while you guys could be going through a lot of similar things, a little similar archetypes and aspects in life, there's an aspect of a lot of you are cultivating a community, and a lot of you are cultivating a community within your own soul. But there's still a cultivation of community and communion. The Green Woman is the Empress card, and I love it so much because it's just so, like, powerful and also enriching and nourishing, it looks like. Like that bowl, that cauldron in front of her. This is that energy that I think you've strived for a very long time, and it feels like things always are just out of your reach, or it's like, oh, I always have to give something to get something. Yeah. And maybe that's some of y'all's, like, realization of, like, damn, life really is all about giving something to get something. Even with, like, the simplest forms of giving your time and energy to something. Like, there's always a give and a take, a push and a pull. Like, it's almost like if there wasn't that push and pull, there's a very deeper Aries level meaning here where the push and pull become friction. And if you know anything about friction and just space in general, a lot of us wouldn't even be in existence if, like, friction wasn't a thing. Like, space, there's no friction, right? But as soon as another object hits one, it's going to create friction along those two objects. Not in space, but like on the objects themselves. And over time, I guess that back and forth energy will create and cultivate something beautifully brand new to you. Alrighty. Last little shuffle here. Let's clarify this Five of Pentacles card. Because this is where I want to get very complex, and I want y'all to just bear with me. If you don't understand some of these things, try to look it up, or maybe phone a friend. I'm not sure. You can ask in the chat or ask in the YouTube comments. I'm just going to try my best. You, Aries, are a beautiful soul that has experienced way too much lack in certain areas, in particular areas that are foundationally and fondly important to you and to the actual true nature of your own soul and the structure that's going to hold the true nature of your own soul. This is something that it's being completely like reset here. Something here is being completely reset. The fact that we have the 10 of Cups and then the Devil starting out a clarification. I am just, what the fuck? Oh, you want to go forward? Okay. You said happiness and stability. Why is the Devil sandwiched in between this all? Why is all this bad shit sandwiched in between all this good shit? Because maybe you haven't broken free from it. Maybe there's a tower that's still on fire and you're still hoping that you can put the flames out and save what you have. But I feel like there's a reset, a restart, revamping, like redoing something. It's not like you have to completely start from scratch again, but there's something that you're like, okay, we can actually like scrap all this and just start with the blank canvas again. Like, let's say you are painting something, you paint it, you don't like it, and you're like, damn, this sucks. You can paint over it and then just paint it either black or white and then make a whole new painting again. And I feel like if you are worried about any like bumps from any of the other paint, you can just like chip them off. And there's other products that you can get to like help with that if you want to get them. But if you just want a brand new canvas again, and you don't care if it's got the little bumps in there from the old paint, just slap black or white on there, or a solid color, just a regular solid color, and you have a whole new painting ready to go. Well, hello, ma'am. There is a loaf underneath my desk. The Devil is a reminder that we have a lot of feelings that feel like the demons in us, the devil energies. It's stuff that feels like we can't break free from this. When either you know you can, or you feel like you don't know how, but you know you can. The how is honestly, in my opinion, the most difficult part for some people. It's always a certain part of like, how do you get yourself to realize, and then how do you get yourself to figure out how to do it? Because nothing's going to help you like you help yourself, and no one's going to help you like you help yourself, which is why there's a lot of like me, myself, and I energy here. And I think you need to bring this back, this me, myself, and I energy, in order to bring back a certain community that was being cultivated. Because there's a lot of like community, whether it's in work or friendships or just like a hobby. It's provided you with happiness and stability, and I can see that, but you still haven't let go of the devil, and the devil is this like broken record of patterns, like the way you think, behave. Oh, excuse me. Different patterns that are just broken records and not like an actual record you would want to play on repeat thoroughly, not just skip over a line and constantly have to repeat a single line. You'd want this whole thing to complete itself, or at least take this fucking broken record off. Break free from it. When I mean break free is there's a moment where once you recognize the patterns, it's like the words in my head instantly were like, it's up to you now. What's up to me? What is it? What does that mean? There's no answer. It's just silence. And I think that's a call to action to your own soul. If you don't know what you need to do or what is going to work for you, how are you going to figure it out if you don't try? If you don't take a step? Oh, well, I've taken steps. I've tried. And okay, get up. I'll give you a hug. I'll dust off any stuff, any dirt on your back or on your shoulders. Make sure you got some water and some snacks in you. And I say, all right, try again. Oh, I tried. It didn't work. Okay, let's try something different and try again. Let's assess and observe the results of the last time you tried, and then let's try again. And the more inconsistent you do this in a way that isn't, I'm getting nowhere, it's in a way of, I'm actually getting somewhere with this. You feel this whole new sense of light in you. Clarifying the Three of Cups, this me, myself, and I energy. Oh, Aries. This is your card here. Do they have it on here? I wonder. The zodiac sign that's associated with the Emperor is Aries. I think there's like a hidden little Aries symbol somewhere. Maybe. Page of Pentacles reversed, Four of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Whatever is feeling like, making you feel like you can't get yourself up and try again, break that barrier. There's like a moment in your mind, and I gotta say, weirdly enough, look up gameplay from Detroit Become Human. It's very silly, but I feel like this is homework for anyone who wants to really understand this. I'm going to describe the game a little bit. It doesn't spoil much because it's what the game is generally like advertised to talk about. Detroit Become Human is about, I believe, literal Detroit and androids. Like human androids that look very human, like so much so that you can barely recognize them unless you see this little like circle, or you see that they can actually like change their skin color and it's like a robot underneath. It's like some weird like holographic imagery thing they do. But in the game you only recognize them because they have this blue little circle here. And when they're told to do something, they kind of have to do it. Some people buy a literal android that's like a housemaid, or companies will hire them as like construction workers, and they just program them with literal verbal commands most of the time saying, hey, this is what I want you to do, go do it. Now, the thing is, when you mess around with AI, you start to mess around with basically human consciousness and creating feelings and emotions in these androids. And that's essentially what they did. And there's a moment where you play as these androids and you have to break past the thing that's telling you to don't go up there and help that crying little girl who just got yelled at by her verbally abusive father. Like, don't go there. You stay put. You stay there. And you're like, no, like, I'm gonna go at least give that little girl a hug because there's a character in there that I just want to give him one of these. But that's just what makes a good story, in my opinion. God damn it. I hate him, but he's so cool at the same time. And the later parts of the game, you learn like why the dad is the way he is. It's a whole thing, but there's a moment where you are the android and you're like visually like seeing yourself break past what is like their version of this like coded barrier of like you're not allowed to feel things, you're not allowed to act on instinct. Why not? Well, maybe it's led me into certain situations that weren't that great. And maybe so, maybe yes, maybe no. I want to say if it makes you scared to try again because you're afraid of making a certain mistake again, that's the reason you should push forward. And I want to trick your brain in saying it that way because our brains are very silly. You should feel scared in certain areas, in the sense of oh, I really, really want to do this, but I'm so nervous about making this, like, mistake again. Okay, for one moment, let's just, like, for one moment, genuinely imagine yourself not making that mistake. Or preparing yourself and making up a plan to not make that mistake again. And maybe even asking for help from friends, from community. Hey, I don't want to make this same mistake again. But there is a, hey, I don't want to make this mistake. And I think this is where recognizing that you've made one is important to understand how to see yourself not making that mistake again. The important part of actually visualizing yourself not making the mistake is getting you to clear out the judgmental behaviors of just human nature, because we all criticize ourselves, and see things for what they are. And then in that light, like, let's say you're just imagining yourself doing that thing you wanted to do that you were afraid of doing because you were afraid of making a mistake. Let's say you go do that and you're imagining yourself, it turns out perfectly, or it just turns out decent. How is your mentality changed after that? Because once we actually feel like, oh yeah, we're not going to mess up, we feel confident, how you handle, I want to say, planning your future for this area of life, whatever it may be, changes. The structure around it becomes more solid and more foundational. There's a foundation that is needing to be built and also needing to just be solidified. Because a lot of times when it comes to the tower and we talk about foundations with the Emperor, because the tower is like the things that we build, like the things that we like to create. Like, I've built this whole channel, this is a part of like my tower I've created in life, in a metaphor. But if the foundation isn't large enough to hold this tower, this was in Capricorn's reading last week, I think. If the foundation is not large enough to hold this tower of greatness you want to build, it's not large enough, and you need to make your foundation larger in whatever fashion you need to. The foundation is the things that make you feel solid and on your feet in life. And it can be on a random Tuesday that you feel this, but you feel solid and on your feet, not moving through life. And even if you make a mistake, sure, whatever, you've learned from it, and you're going to try and plan better in the future and just keep note of it. And you just feel so assured in yourself. It's not perfect in life, but there's an assurance of knowing where you are, where you came from, and where you're going. That's very important in foundational aspects of the mind. It's very metaphorical. I want y'all to like do a lot of research on the Emperor and the Tower card in tarot if anyone wants to go any deeper. The Emperor and the Tower, and the Emperor and the Empress with the Tower. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I could sit here and ramble, but I'm like, I don't want to waste any more time, because this Empress is like, can we speak yet? We've been waiting patiently. I know you have, Empress. What do you got for Aries? 10 Pentacles reversed. Page of Swords reversed. Hello. And 5 of Wands. Huh? The true bottom of the deck card is Ace of Pentacles, but then Ace of Wands also popped out, which is very interesting. But it came out reversed, so I keep that there. Oh, then we could just do... I'm just gonna leave it like that on the board so y'all can see. Clarifying the Empress, 10 of Pentacles reversed, Page of Swords reversed, 5 of Wands. You feel as if almost... I want to say some people feel like they've denied almost every sense of self-purpose, but I don't want you to discredit your efforts on self-purpose because you have been just trying to find it this whole time. The purpose in life sometimes is to not understand what our purpose is. And in my opinion, if you're going to ask me what the purpose of life is, my honest to God opinion when it comes to the purpose of life is to genuinely just live it. Live it how you want to, by your own terms. We have all these laws that people have created because they live life and they do things. You live. There's so much that when it comes to like spiritual stuff that's like, I wanna do this psychic thing and astral travel and talk to the spirits, and I'm sitting here thinking like, if there's an actual dimension where it's like a dreamland where we could literally do anything, fly, eat anything, but you're not feeling anything, you don't have these 5 senses, I don't think I would want to be there very long, because part of me wants to actually experience what it's like to touch, hear, smell, feel everything. Oh, thank you for saying the Detroit Become Human game is very, very good analogy. Thank you for agreeing, because I think I was a little nervous bringing it up, but the more I talk about like this reading, especially just reading that chat message now, is very important. Of like, sometimes the purpose of our own life is just to fucking live it. And honest to God, in those stories of the androids in Detroit Become Human, that's all they really want to do, is just to live their life. They didn't really ask to be built, but it's like, I need to play a scene, and I think I'm going to play this scene after the reading. But there is, if you want to do homework in the simplest form for this reading, and you're watching live on YouTube, after this video ends, I want you to go to your search bar, and I want you to search Detroit Become Human, Kara being built. It's K-A-R-A, Kara. If you look up Kara being built, because she is an android, that there is a, it's like a cutscene that's like hidden, and it's a specific cutscene that is her genuinely being built and her model of the android being built, and I can't express enough how much it's genuinely like a baby being born. And they wake her up. She's conscious enough almost as a human being, and they're going to put these modifiers on to block every single human emotion in this robot. They've brought it to life and said, oh yeah, I know you're feeling everything, but you're just not allowed to feel anything, but you're still going to be able to feel those things inside of you. You're just not allowed to actually express them. Very telling on a lot of things in our society. I don't know if you can say a spoiler. I'm not sure. It depends if it's in like the very end of the game. because I did mention part of Kara's story earlier in this reading. I'm not sure exactly because I wanted to talk about it more after the reading, into getting into the next reading. Because Aries, if you're watching on YouTube, you're my first reading of this day. Shout out to you. I don't want to spoil too much of the dad and Kara, because if you guys want to know the story of Detroit Become Human, trust me, there are plenty of YouTube videos out there, and I really want people to do their own research with it, because I think when you see the story for yourself, you're going to see how it can resonate for you in your own way. I don't want to show you these things and waste your time with something that you can probably find your own time looking up, because this is a tarot reading, not a react channel. We can react once the reading's over, but that is for what my stream is for. So if you want to watch us do all the stuff in between readings and hang out and chat, anyone that's watching on YouTube in the future, you're welcome to hang out and chat. Yes. I know. Okay. I think that I may have mentioned it like a little bit, like a teeny bit. Maybe in between the words, because I was trying to say some stuff without saying it, because if some people knew the story or knew these kinds of people in the story, they would know slightly what I'm talking about, but I don't know. I don't know if I said it exactly. I don't think I did for what I think you're mentioning. But anyway, there's so much in this that it's like, what do you mean you can't do this thing because you have to tell yourself you can't? Because that's the way life is. And if you feel for 1 second that the purpose of life is to live it, what is holding you back from living it? What is holding you back? And I think it's in the smallest ways for some people. This may not be very big things. These may be very tiny things that all collectively create a big thing. So be mindful, be aware, because after you've gone through the chaos of the mind, there's a lot of enlightenment here for you. We have Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles. We have ideas and new seeds of opportunity ready to grow within you and for you and come towards you, because this is something I always remind people. Something you gotta choose. This whole part of the reading, the future energy, this ain't even happened yet, because this is something that you gotta do yourself. So remember that. Thank you for being here. That is all I have for you, Aries. And as always, I just want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for letting me read your cards, all that fun stuff. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Remember to do your homework too. I'm watching you.